On this Thanksgiving, we fact-checked our mistakes from this month.
We tell you this Black Friday's best deals and more.
Tyler quizzes me on a subject I know fairly well.
And our discussion on the Navajo legend, the Skinwalker. All coming up on the Segway Podcast. Hey, welcome to the Segway.
The best thing to happen to you on a Thursday.
That's right, recording live in LeBron's backyard. Happy Thanksgiving.
It's Thursday.
It's
Thursday.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We hope you're enjoying your day. Hope you're not working. Or if you do have to work, hopefully it's very late in the evening.
Or beforehand.
Or beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, we'll get into Black Friday stuff much later in this podcast. But, dude, the people that have to go to work on Thanksgiving in the evening, did you ever have to do that for work?
No, but our good friend Alex did for a long time.
I did it at Old Navy for 1 year, and I was like, this is bullshit. I think I worked 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. on Friday.
I never worked retail.
Well, you did exchange. Well, that's not retail.
No,
but that's department.
I didn't stay there long enough for it. I worked Christmas shift at the movie theater.
Yeah. That sucks.
No, it was actually fun.
Apparently, people go to the movies on Christmas. I think
a lot of people go to the movies on Christmas.
That's weird. I don't like that.
Well, I mean, that's their thing.
Either way, I hope you guys are enjoying your Thanksgiving. Hopefully you're having some good food. Hopefully you're enjoying your mashed potatoes and stuffing, and you guys hate cranberry. Hopefully you're saving that for me. So yeah, hopefully you're having a good Thanksgiving. Charlie, I have a question for you.
What is it?
So you think the Christmas movie thing is cool? Would you go see a movie on Christmas?
Yeah.
Would you go see Charlie's Angels on Christmas?
No.
Okay, so here's a question for you. I have a question. So Charlie's Angels cost about $48 million to make.
Yeah, okay.
It made about $8 million.
Yeah.
So that's what we would call a major flop.
That's a hit of. They took a hit of like $40 million.
So as you know, Charlie's Angels are female. It was directed
they are.
by a female actress, Elizabeth Banks, and she kind of came at men about why it wasn't doing well. Her quote is, "If people don't see this movie, it'll reinforce a stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go to see women in action movies." What is your takeaway? I know, I'm putting you on the spot here, but what's your takeaway on this? Because I have a couple thoughts.
I mean, that's obviously not true, because Wonder Woman was one of the better DC movies.
She commented on that, and she said that men will go see that because comic book movies are a men type of movie. It's a male movie, a comic book movie.
Okay, but it was still directed by a woman, and a woman starred in it. You can't just add caveats to your point after you made a point.
Yeah, in the words of Michael Rappaport, nobody was checking for Charlie's Angels. Nobody was asking for a Charlie's Angels
fifth
sequel.
reboot.
How
right?
about you know what movie has all women essentially and was great and did really well, and I think it's 10 years old now.
What was it?
Bridesmaids.
Oh,
it was creative. It was unique. It wasn't a rehash of something else. Nobody wanted another Charlie's Angels. We didn't need that. Don't put that on men. Don't even put on women. And if you want to blame somebody, blame the women for not going.
I really like the new Ghostbusters, honestly.
That was another one a lot of
I know
people
it was a
are hitting
rehash, but I really liked it.
I didn't see that one. But I don't think it's about men versus women. And maybe
No, it's not a gender thing.
I don't know.
It's just a bad movie.
Because I thought the same thing you did about what is it, Captain
Wonder Woman.
I was thinking Marvel. What is it?
Captain Marvel was also another example.
Same thing.
Brie Larson. Tyler, speaking of movies, I saw Frozen 2 this weekend.
Did you cry?
I did. Yeah, I did. Did you cry when you stubbed your toe? That's what it's like watching the movie in a good way, because you stubbed your heart.
Sounds painful. I was confused the first movie because I thought Hans was cool and I thought Kristoff was cool. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. And then there's the reveal, which...
Yeah. Spoilers? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
That came out in 2013. I think actually the December 2012, so they can suck it.
I liked it. I don't know. I'm glad they made a second, actually. I was really skeptical. I was like, oh, it's Frozen but fall? That's stupid. But no, I liked it. It was actually really good. The plot was better than I thought it was going to be.
Is it caviar and dry wine?
Ooh. I'm not going to rank it. I didn't evaluate it.
Is it 2 thumbs up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I liked it a lot.
Speaking of movies, this weekend was the Harry Potter marathon on Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
So naturally, I found myself glued to the couch doing stuff, and I had it on. I wasn't actively watching it all, but I watched like parts of 1, 2, 3, 4 5 and 6. And this hit me, and you should know that I feel this way about it, because back a long time ago, Black Snow, I did a sketch about it. But I forgot about it until watching it again. Do you know where I'm going with this or
No, I have no idea.
All right. Obviously, I don't like Draco and all the people in Slytherin. Like, they're dicks, okay?
Right, yeah.
Like, can I establish that? They're not good people.
Right.
Dumbledore is on some shit at the end of the first one when he's giving all those points. You're gonna let them think they won, and then out of nowhere, you're gonna be like, on second thought, for being a good friend and always putting the toilet seat down. 50 points. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and they have to watch it slowly drip away. Too.
I know. Like, no! And they're like down by 5 or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, we're screwed. They already did Harry Potter, and it's his name's in the movie, so it must be it." And he's like, "Hold up, bitches, hold up." Neville Longbottom. What did he? Oh, it takes a lot of courage to stand up to your enemies. Takes more courage to stand up to your friends. Wait, hey, McGonagall. How much are they down by? Oh yeah, okay, 5. 6 points to Gryffindor, you Slytherin fucks. I think it's messed up, and imagine if the movie was portrayed through the lens of Slytherin. Dumbledore would seem like the biggest dick in the world.
I feel like someone should have took him aside and be like, guys, you know you're not gonna win, right? Harry Potter's here. You're not gonna win. That's
like Dumbledore is on some Patriot shit. With Gryffindor is the New England Patriots. That's a fact. And that makes Harry Potter Tom Brady. I don't know if anybody's ever made that connection before, but that is a fact.
I think that's a first.
On the day of Thanksgiving, it is now humble time, a.k.a. fact check.
Gonna have some humble pie.
Humble pie.
All right, so I'll go first because I got 2 things real quick.
Yeah, list them off.
I'll do the first thing because it's not huge. Zimbabwe, although in Africa, is not on the Nile.
Yes, it's south.
Yes, it's south of where the Nile ends.
So I was thinking it might have been Lake Karaba. I might be saying
I didn't look at the lakes. Did you look at the lakes?
Yeah, that's the closest lake. It's huge. I mean, there could be a very smaller...
It's like a long lake on the border?
Yes.
Yeah.
It could be a much smaller lake that happened with that. It's a would you rather story. That's what you're bringing up.
Mm-hmm.
About the girl was it a crocodile or an alligator?
Crocodile.
Gouge
his eyes out. It was metal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
And the other thing I have is, I guess it's a big one. I said player versus everyone, which is basically PvP, player versus player. Not what I meant. I meant player versus everyone.
Environment.
I did it again. Player versus environment. Which is player versus, so there's like a team versus the environment.
So shout out to Alex, the fact check whisperer, and Bilby. Bilby did. Yeah. He texted me about that and said, "Yo, check Charles.
Take his head off.
Check Charles." All right, so we'll keep this quick. Let's get this going with so Windows phones, they do have Cortana.
Yeah.
When we were doing that, I think Kat asked us the question. So Cortana is Windows Phone. I still think she would lose to Siri. I said Duck Hodges. I never said his real, the backup quarterback, the backup quarterback, who I think might start next week against the Browns. I said he was a professional duck caller. I don't know if this is pulling hairs. He was actually a world champion duck caller.
And I think you could be a professional if you're a world champion.
I guess more than anything, I want to shout his name out. His name is Devlin. Obviously, Devlin Hodges. I hate Pittsburgh, but I like this guy head and shoulders above Mason Rudolph.
Oh, they should have just...
Alana Pierce. I said when we were interviewing Alex, I said Alana Pierce was getting copyrighted for her videos, her Let's Plays.
Yeah.
I said she might work for IGN. She left IGN in 2018.
She now do Let's Plays?
She does. She's part of Funhouse now, which is a YouTube channel.
Well, they're all in trouble anyway.
She's making more money, so good for her. She was. And you were right. David Baker is playing the new Pokemon Sword and what is it? Sword and Shield.
Sword and Shield.
He did play that.
Do you know if it's Sword or Shield?
No. Okay. I stopped caring once I checked and made sure that it was semi-accurate.
It's Pokemon.
So I think we did a good job. We might have missed a couple. We're already pulling hairs here. I think we're doing pretty good with the fact check.
I mean, if you want us to do make this segment longer,
we'll start lying.
I was gonna say listen to us more closely and make sure we're not full of shit. But.
Yeah, give Alex the fact check whisperer a run for his money. But as far as we're concerned, that is fact checked.
So this is a new segment that we're going to use. I'm really excited about it. Tyler came up with it. It's called 10 Things About ... So we pick a topic. And we find 10 things that we didn't know, at least, about the topic. Yeah,
there'll probably be a couple that you'd be like, well, yeah, I knew that. And so, fuck you.
So this week's topic is Black Friday. Because Thanksgiving.
And it's very important for you to listen to this because that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you guys need to listen to this so that you're prepared for the rush tomorrow. Because, who has to work on Black Friday? I actually don't.
A lot of people do.
Do you want to go shopping?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk.
Okay.
All right, take it away.
So my first fact is Black Friday is not named because the stores are more profitable. It's named after two guys, Jay and Jim, in September 24th, 1869. They spiked the price of gold and made the stock market crash. That's my first fact.
Yes, so it was actually about stock crashing.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a fun fact, because I was about to steal Charlie's, and I don't want to do that to him. Not only is Black Friday one of the busiest days for department stores and retailers, it's also a very, very busy day for plumbers. Disgusting, right?
Yeah.
It's a combination of a lot of people at the stores, pipes that are already slightly backed up, everybody, overeating. So
Yeah.
if you're a plumber, you got the day after Thanksgiving circled on your calendar. As fun as that is.
Making that money.
Getting that dough.
So after the stock market crashed, Black Friday was coined by the Philadelphia police in 1950-ish because it was the day between Thanksgiving and the Army-Navy game. And there was hordes of people shopping, and they just called it Black Friday because they knew that was a day they were going to be busy. Yep.
Fact 4. Even though it became really prominent in the 90s, and that's when it really started making a big push towards sales, it wasn't actually until 2001, when it became the busiest shopping day of the year.
Number 5. Since 2006, 11 people have died on Black Friday, and more than 100 people have been injured.
I think it's actually 12 and 117. That's what I found.
I found 11 and over 100.
More than 10 people have died.
Yes.
And more than 100 have been injured.
Yeah.
The last one, I believe, last year a man was shot.
Damn.
Yeah. People, I mean,
Did he buy the gun on Black Friday?
He got a great deal. A lot of people get trampled.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Yeah, I killed a girl once.
Yeah, you gotta get that new flat screen. So Black Friday has always been about getting up early, getting out, fighting the crowd, and shopping on Friday. Well, in 2011, Walmart said, hold on a second, why don't we start right after you're done digesting your turkey? So in 2011, Walmart was the first store to open on Thanksgiving, which started this whole trend of people like me and Alex at certain points in our life having to work on Thanksgiving, which is bullshit. So you suck, Walmart. That's why Target's better, even though Target did adapt, because that's what you gotta do.
You have to adapt.
But I guess that started in 2011. I thought it was earlier than that.
Number 7, 12% of Black Friday shoppers are drunk.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
They surveyed people, right? Isn't that what? Because that's how they would find out.
Yes.
So they asked people. So is that do you think that's from Thanksgiving dinner, or do you think that's?
I think it's from having a good time and continuing drinking into the night.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
Or maybe if you're waiting outside, you want to drink to stay warm or something.
Although actually, it just constricts your blood vessels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Also, survey responded. The average shopper apparently spends $472 on Black Friday. That's quite a bit. A lot of people think, oh, I'm saving this much, and I'm saving that. And that might be true, but you are still spending about $500. No matter how much you're saving, you're still spending about $500. Did you know that some manufacturers will actually create cheaper models for Black Friday? This kind of blew my mind, and I kind of want to do some testing on this. I don't think I will, but I want to. But they'll use cheaper materials so that it's a cheaper cost to them, so they're not wasting as much money on Black Friday. So what they say to do is, if you're going to go buy something like a TV or a computer or something like that, look at the SKU and the model number and compare it to online. If you were to buy it normally online, look at the model number, compare it to what you're seeing in store. We only have 7 HP pavilions in store that are going for $99. Make sure it is what you'd be paying full price for, which is kind of crazy. All right, so this is the 10th one. I'm going to be flying through this. This is fun for you guys. This is why you should be listening. And if you are listening, you're a step above everybody else, and they're all trash. Here are some of the top deals for Black Friday 2019. Amazon, you can get some wireless headphones and free shipping for $179. What a deal! On Amazon, you can get $45 off Kindle Paperwhite plus $5 book credit. What a deal! At Walmart, you can get 50% off Google Home products for all you lazy fucks that want that to turn the light on instead of you getting up and turning the light on yourself. What a deal! At Walmart, you can get pre-Black Friday and 2-day shipping. Cool!
Are we getting paid or?
No.
Okay.
All right. At Walmart, you can get a KitchenAid stand mixer for $199 instead of $280. What a deal! At Amazon, apparently those are the only two stores, you can get an Apple iPad 32 gigabyte plus free shipping for $300 instead of $330. So you're saving $30. Wow. Amazon, you can get Apple AirPods with the charging case and free shipping for $139 instead of $159. Cool. At Walmart, this will be my last one. This is a big one. I know you guys like TVs. I know you guys like big TVs. I know you like seeing the Cavs lose in high def. At Walmart, you can get a 50-inch LED Scepter HD TV and free shipping, which actually that's what I have in my living room right now.
Oh, okay.
For $180, which is what I paid, not Black Friday. But apparently, for some people, it was normally $349. So that actually is a really huge deal. Maybe you guys should check the model number on that. Hint, hint. Take a peek.
So that is our top 10 things to know about Black Friday. I hope you like that segment, because I sure did.
It is quiz time, my friends. If you remember, last month I won the quiz. Charlie quizzed me on Lord of the Rings. That was the last one?
Yes, it was.
That seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
It was a month ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. And just keep this in mind. Every time, the person being quizzed has won. The quizzer has never won. I'm hoping to change that today. So just a refresher, what is the point of the quiz? Well, first of all, it's for your entertainment, so you can play along at home too if you know the topic. Or if you don't. Doesn't matter. Sometimes we don't. But also, next week is first week food, and the loser of this quiz has to buy the appetizer. How do you like video games, Charlie?
I'm a big fan.
Are you a big fan?
I am, yeah.
Are you a connoisseur of video games?
I'm just going to go with a yes.
Are you a dinosaur of video games?
Yes.
Do you like GameInformer?
I did, yeah, when I had it.
I have one over there. All right, so this quiz, because we're coming to the end of 2019, moving forward to 2020, this quiz is going to be every year since 2008. Every year since 2008, what did GameInformer choose was Game of the Year?
Oh, no. So it's just one question, but multiple years.
Every year.
Okay, all right.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's start. 2008, how old were you?
18.
I was 16.
Well, 17.
What did GameInformer think was Game of the Year? GTA 4, Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, or Fallout 3?
Fallout 3.
That is incorrect. It was GTA 4.
I should have gone with that. I think you're right. This is going to be the first time the Quizzy wins.
2009. What was Game of the Year? Uncharted 2, Among Thieves, Heavy Rain, or Borderlands?
A.
Which was?
Uncharted 2.
That is correct. 2010. What was Game of the Year? Mass Effect 2, Alan Wake, Red Dead Redemption. Did you play any of these games?
Yeah.
You didn't play Alan Wake, though.
I tried it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good for you. It's a great game. I don't know if it's Game of the Year, but it's a great game.
I want to go with Red Dead.
That is correct.
Ah.
It is Charlie 2, me 1. 2011. What is Game of the Year? Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, Dark Souls, or Portal 2?
Elder Scrolls.
Skyrim?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Why was that so hard to say?
I don't know.
Elder Scrolls.
2012. What was Game of the Year? Mass Effect 3, Dishonored, or Assassin's Creed 3?
Dishonored.
That is incorrect.
What? Is it Mass Effect?
Mass Effect 3.
Fuck.
2013. What is Game of the Year? The Last of Us, GTA 5, or BioShock Infinite?
Oh my god. Those are all really good. Have you played any of those? Besides GTA?
Did you play any of those besides the one that you played? I own The Last of Us.
They're both amazing games. They're all amazing games.
I never got into the BioShock series, even though it seems like it'd be really cool.
That's not like any other BioShock.
Okay.
Actually, I think it's so not like any other BioShock. I think that's the answer.
BioShock?
Yeah.
Incorrect. Last of Us. That means I tied it up. It is 3-3. First one to 5. Because it's out of 11. 2014. The year I graduated. What is Game of the Year? Dark Souls 2. Mario Kart 8. Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh my god.
Inquisition. Inquisition.
Can I have them again?
Dark Souls 2. Mario Kart 8. Dragon Age Inquisition.
I feel like the answer is none of the above.
I know. It must not have been a good game year that year. Some of them you look at and you're like, dang. And then some of them you're like, oh, all right, everybody took a bye week that one.
Can I do process of elimination?
Yeah.
I don't think it's C.
You don't think it's Dragon Age Inquisition?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you're stuck between Dark Souls 2 and Mario Kart 8.
Weirdly enough, I think I'm going to go with Mario Kart.
8?
Yeah.
The 8th one? The 8th installation?
Yeah.
Because everybody was fine with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, but they're like, man, we need 8. Incorrect. Dragon Age Inquisition.
Are you serious?
I need one more to win, y'all. The Quizzer might finally... You know, I was gonna do this for both GameInformer and IGN and let you choose because, I mean, it's so up in the air. But, you know what? It's fun. 2015. What is Game of the Year? Fallout 4. Metal Gear Solid 5. The Phantom Pain. Or The Witcher 3. Wild Hunt.
I think it's Fallout 4.
Incorrect.
God damn it.
It is The Witcher
3?
Yes.
Bullshit!
How many? 1, 2, 3,
Oh, fuck.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hold on. Is this... Hold on.
I'm so
That
fucking
I don't think that's right, because I don't think... The 5 would be out of 9. Nobody's won yet.
Oh, is there another one?
I will always be bad at math. If there's anything you can count on, I am bad at math.
Huh.
Parker pronounces his T's, and I am bad at math. Moving on. I expect you to get this one. 2016. What is... Do you just know? Do you know what... I won't... you can guess. You can, just guess. I won't count it. If you get it right, I'll give it to you. But what do you think Game of the Year 2016 was?
I have no idea. Tony Hawk? I have no idea.
No. Okay. Game of the Year 2016. Overwatch. Uncharted 4. A Thief's End. Or Dark Souls 3.
Was it Overwatch?
Yes.
Okay.
I included every Dark Souls in here because a lot of people... What I did is I cross-checked with other ones that did win. I not all of them. Like Alan Wake, I don't think won any of them. But a lot of people like Dark Souls. I do not like Dark Souls at all. Yes, hard as fuck. All right, 2017. It is getting close to that time. What was Game of the Year? Resident Evil 7, Fortnite, or Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild? Another wild one.
Say Zelda?
Zelda.
You said Zelda.
That's what Parker would say.
I don't think it's Fortnite. So
you're between Resident Evil 7 and Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
I think it's Legend of Zelda.
That is correct. Oh my god. That means it is this is what you people pay to see. This is overtime. It is 5-5 with the last question on the line. Will the Quizzer finally win? Will Charlie pull back from way behind and come in with a win? Stay tuned on... Just kidding. All right. 2018, last year. What was Game of the Year? That's my Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2. God of War. Or Marvel's Spider-Man?
I think it's Spider-Man.
Incorrect! It was God of War, the remake.
Really?
Yes. That was a really...
Oh.
You did a good job, though.
Oh, man.
Was that a fun quiz, though, at least?
Yeah, it was fun.
Sweet. You lost. I'm going to order the most delicious vegetable option appetizer. It's going to be great. And that is our quiz of November.
On this week's ParaFourMal, we are going to dive in to the depths of the Skinwalker.
Yes. By the way, God of War, guess it wasn't a remake. I'm going to fact check myself right now.
Oh, boy. It takes us out of the moment.
Sorry. All right, back to spooky death. Incest.
We're going to go... Oh, my God, stop. I kind of wanted to just go with, like, I found a definition of a Skinwalker. It's a cryptid. Yeah, technically.
It's what?
A cryptid.
Oh, I thought you said encrypted. I'm like, is it Apple Pay?
Hack it in there. Yeah, no.
You got to go on the dark web to find the Skinwalker.
It is a cryptid. It is a type of... It comes originally from the Navajo tribe, Native American tribe, and they have the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. The term is never used for healers.
Yes. Healers, there's the Navajo believe like the good and the bad of witchcraft, and like the good are the healers and the meditators and the people that use witchcraft for good, and then on the opposite spectrum of that you have the skinwalkers.
So the way I framed it, I have facts and I have stories.
Yes.
So,
we'll bounce between both. Well,
yeah.
not we'll do the facts together and then we'll do the stories together. It'll be good.
So I found out that if while they're transformed into an animal, if they speak, they will be stuck as that animal.
Really?
Yes.
I think we need to paint the picture of what this is more. I don't think people have a good idea of what we're talking about.
Okay.
Here.
Okay. So what it's a evil witch.
Yeah.
Native American.
Not like I almost picture like a shaman type thing. It's not like witch's hat broom.
That's like a Western kind of witch. Yeah. This is
put yourself in like southwestern United States, New Mexico, Arizona tribe,
Utah.
Right. With ill intent of either wealth, greed, envy, anger, you have to make a choice that you want to become a skinwalker.
Yeah, it is a wanted thing.
Right, and there's a specific ritual where they, from what I've read, because there's no one thing about skinwalkers and the Navajo is that they don't like to discuss this with outsiders. Yep. It's assumed by Navajo that just by thinking and putting that energy out there, like thinking about skinwalkers, wondering about them, having that curiosity can actually draw them, like bring attention to them. So they try to be as cryptic about it as they can, because that would be, in their eyes, lessening the power of the skinwalker.
In my drive home through the woods, I'll be thinking about this the whole time. So.
And you're fucked. So in the ritual, from what I found, is if you want to become a skinwalker, you have to do one of the worst deeds, which is you would have to murder in cold blood somebody that you really care about and love, like a family member, a sibling
or a family member or relative.
And I saw part of that was also consuming them with cannibalism. I'm sure there's more to it than just that. There's probably some.
I have a little story about that.
Yeah.
So I have a story from, what's his name? Huss. I don't remember his last name. He was on Coast to Coast. That's where I got the story from. But the story is he was a teacher, and he was asking his kids to write a scary story. And this kid wrote him the story. It sounded true to him. Mm-hmm. Whatever. Take that with a mountain-sized grain of salt if you need to. But it was about his mom. And his mom became a skinwalker. And she was essentially a professional alcoholic before that. And they prey on people who are weaker, but they're also trying to recruit. So they kidnapped his mother. They dried her out, so they put her in like an outhouse for like 3 days. She was sobered up, and then give her an ultimatum. And the ultimatum was either we're going to kill you, or you're going to join us. And she joined. So what her task was to go home and pick one of her children, take them there, and they were going to kill him and consume. And he picked the kid's sister. And he wrote the story about how he sees his mom sometimes, but it's not the same thing, and it's obviously there's something wrong.
So, while not concrete, there's no definitive purpose behind. Like, it's not like all skinwalkers have the same common goal and become skinwalkers because of this. It could just be bad people that are bad people. It could be people that were forced into it. It could be people that are just naturally greedy or envious or angry or want revenge or just want power. There's no like go-to, this is why people choose to become skinwalkers, but you know, it's evil. That is the idea of it.
Yeah, there are no good skinwalkers. They are evil.
Yes. So some other qualities. So we'll go into the most obvious one first. So if they have a pelt of an animal, they can turn into that animal.
Yes.
The most common ones that are discussed include coyotes, dogs, wolves, foxes, owls, and I saw bears, I think, as well.
Yeah. What if they want to be like a whale?
I don't think that would be too good. So the Navajo are suspicious of tribe members that carry pelts of predatory animals. I don't know if they have an unpredatory animal that is okay to wear, where they're not worried, like a rabbit or something.
Like a deer?
Deer, perhaps. But if they see you wearing the pelt of an animal that they would consider predatory, that's like a huge red flag.
Although, I mean, they turn to deer. I've heard multiple stories where it's a deer on hind legs or a ram.
Okay, so let's say that there's a dog in your yard, and somebody's like, "How do I know if that's a dog or it's a skinwalker?" So here are some dead giveaways. Dead giveaways. Yeah, like is that obvious? Like, well, here's what you do. Here's your checklist. Here are things that might separate that dog from a skinwalker. First of all, smell. Apparently, there's like a terrible,
like a death smell,
rotten odor, just badness, bad smell. 2, eye color. What color's eyes did you read about?
I read about red eyes, but I also heard yellow.
Yes, yeah, same. I heard both yellow and red, so not normal eye color. Incredibly fast.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly fast. Irregular movements.
Like,
or just twitchy, like, just does not behave the way that you would assume a typical animal would. You alluded to this one, walking on hind legs. We'll get to some of the stories later. But people have reported seeing animals that would normally be
quadrupeds,
right? Become bipedal, and running away. Also, apparently they have like a deafening, terribly
scream.
Their cry is just disturbing. And I didn't read this one. And one day, someday, on this podcast, I will tell you about my own personal story. I would say that there is a feeling too, but I definitely think that there's like something is wrong.
Like feeling. There's evil afoot.
I would just it's just when something's wrong, something's off, you don't feel right about the situation.
I know. Well, what I did some research on. They can also do some type of telepathy.
Yes.
They speak. They can mimic voices.
But do they get stuck as an animal?
Well, they don't necessarily have to speak. If they speak as an animal, yes. But if they're like outside of animal form, like in a human form, they can speak.
Because I've read that they could sound like other people and trick you into thinking that they're other people.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was wondering with what you were saying, if they'd be then stuck as an animal, or if it's like a power.
I don't know. I think it's like a almost like a mental power.
Okay.
Like they don't necessarily speak, but you think they are.
It might not. Nobody else might be able to hear it. Like it might be put in your head.
Yeah.
They can also control behavior.
Yes.
They can have you kind of do their bidding. I don't know to a certain extent how much you can control what they do. Also read if you look them like in the eyes.
In the eye that you have like control of you.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but
I mean,
we don't know anything at all.
Yeah.
We're just reporting what we found. So here are also some of their main traits and behaviors. If they were to be around your area and you were to be inside either a house or a vehicle, scratching, pawing at doors and windows, peering in this one that's freaky. Peering inside of windows, like imagine seeing like an animal with just like discolored eyes staring at you through your window, and standing in traffic, hoping to disrupt you and cause a violent car accident. I've also read that they will run with cars, so you'll have an animal running 40 miles per hour right next to you and just not feeling right.
Is it too early to say the only way or one of the ways to kill?
No, let's hear it. How do you... So we know what a skinwalker is. We don't really have a motive, but we probably never will.
Mm-hmm.
We understand that it's Navajo, and they're trying to keep it hush-hush because they believe that the more awareness you give to it, the more power you give it. And now its most common animals that it becomes and some of its behaviors. So now, yes, let's discuss killing.
One of the ways... Well, the reason they keep themselves so hidden is because if they recognize you see their true face, they'll most certainly try to kill you. Because if you recognize them and you know their true name, if you speak that, it will kill them.
That seems like it would be very, very minimal chance. I imagine...
Probably not on Facebook.
But seeing their face, which is already not normal. Like, if they're in animal form, good luck recognizing them.
Right.
And 2, the chances that they would just happen to know you. Like, maybe in a small tribe, you might know them. But, like, in 2019, like...
Well, I think the way you think about these they're more like immortal kind of beings rather than just people. And I think that they think, I'm not sure how much they realize how far technology has grown.
That's fair. See, it's interesting because, and maybe they do this, who knows? If I was in a Navajo tribe and I was an elder and I was trying to look out for my friends and family, I would teach them the names of like that would be like, all right, just come home, eat dinner, do your homework, let's recite the names of the Skinwalkers. But maybe they don't know. I mean, I don't know how easy it would be or how like commonplace it is for somebody to know the name and for one to die that way. It seems kind of like, I mean, the whole thing's out there, but that particularly to me seems extra out there. But
they also have another weapon.
Yes.
Which is the corpse powder or death powder that they have, which is on their person. Or like around them.
Yeah.
But also they use it as a weapon. And they like blow it into people. Right. And it causes sickness and like body dysmorphia. Like this one guy's tongue swelled up, but it will get you.
Yeah. So a lot of people when they hear Skinwalkers associate with werewolf, but it's very different. So in case you were thinking that's what we were going to be talking about, sorry.
Actually, I described it to my dad. I was like, you know how like a werewolf doesn't have control of when it can change?
These guys do.
Yeah.
And they're evil. The witch doctors, evil, bad people.
It's all just evil will.
Yep. Before we go into the stories, I will say that I potentially have a story that involves Skinwalkers, personal story that me and one of my best friends experienced. I'm going to save that for a rainy day because I think that would be its completely own episode. But that's why I'm so invested in this. It was also my thesis for my creative writing program, my master's degree. I wrote a novel about Skinwalker. So that's the this was technically Charlie's topic, and I'm kind of stepping on his toes here.
It's okay.
But so let's jump into some of the stories. How many do you have?
Well, I gave you the one already, but I have two more that are written down.
Okay.
One's fast, and one's not as fast.
I'm gonna do all of mine on this episode, and you can eliminate the ones you don't like.
Okay.
Have fun.
All right. Do you want me to do mine first, or?
I got like 6, so...
Okay, I'm going to do my 2.
Why don't we bounce? That might be better.
Okay, that's fine.
You want to start?
So I'll do one.
Yeah.
This other one is also from, what is his name was? Hust?
Hust?
Hust.
H-U-S-T?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this story of how he, encountered this, like, ravenous dog on his yard, and he had his 2 dogs, like, with him, and they were, like, skirting away from it. And they wouldn't. He was like, "Go chase him off," and they wouldn't even go by it. And they just ran to the house, and they were like crying. So he decided that he was going to be the man of the house, and he picked up a 2x4, and he killed this dog with the 2x4. He went inside to go get like a cloth to wrap it up, and he got back, and it was gone. The body was gone, and he was pretty sure it was dead. He saw like the bodily functions happen. Like a week after that, he got sick, like deathly sick. And like his tongue was swollen, and he was like shivering and shaking. And a friend of a friend who happened to be a medicine man in the Navajo tribe said, "Your friend needs to come to me, or he will die. And so what happens? He convinced his Hurst to come see the medicine man, and he shoved this stuff in his face, and they did like a ceremony to like cleanse him. And he's like foaming to the mouth, and he like convulses and stuff, and then he goes to the bathroom and he passes out this like black gunk, and he survived. But if it hadn't been for that ceremony, he probably would have not. And the medicine man goes, "The corpse powder from the dog you killed was what did it to you."
Wow. You see, that'll be $500. I take Apple Pay. Okay. So this will be in the same light as Mount Shasta, where I'm going to be reading personal stories that people wrote. So could this be fake? 100%. Could it be true? Potentially. So here's an account of somebody coming in contact with a Skinwalker. My grandmother was, on my mother's side, has always been very superstitious. For lack of a better word, she's not religious. But she does believe in a lot of paranormal stuff. Her mother was a full-blooded Navajo, and her father was Irish. Either way, she'd never been anywhere east of Montana, and she grew up in Nevada. So one year, when I was in grade school, we went to visit her. Most of the visit was pretty uneventful, typical boring old people stuff, except she always kept her curtains drawn shut and would always peek out the window, and when someone asked what she was doing, she would simply reply, "Yonad Lushi is watching me." This went on for nearly the entire visit until a few days before we were due to leave. My grandmother and my then baby brother, who's now 19, were in the front yard playing and planting flowers when all of a sudden my grandmother starts shouting that it's not safe and that we need to come inside. So we run inside and we see my grandmother clutching my little brother and shaking in terror against the inside of the house. And standing in the yard was a large black Great Dane. It was staring at my grandmother with an intensity that I'd never seen before. It looked up at us and gave us a little huff and then it hounded off. I don't remember if it moved unusually fast or not, but I do remember that it had deep yellow eyes. When my mother asked why my grandmother was acting that way and what had happened, she kept repeating that Yonad Lushi had found me, and she moved a couple weeks after that. That's my dramatization.
I read that story today. Okay, so my other story, it's super quick. It's another account of someone running into a skinwalker. So there's this family that's driving in Arizona. They're going to Flagstaff. They're coming home from this event, and on the way home they see this wolf kind of guy in the middle of the road, and he's just raw at them while they're driving by, and just there's a scratch of the car. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they speed past him because they're frightened, obviously. And they get to their house, and they lock their doors, and they hide because they're freaked out. But later that night, they heard drums and chanting. So they go to their windows, and they look out, and they say 3 men, but they have dog heads. And when they look out, they lock eyes, and they start trying to climb their fence, but they can't seem to get over. For some reason, they were safe that night. But that is just a freaky story to me. Yeah. Just the fact that they tried to get over, but they couldn't.
That was Flagstaff?
Yeah.
Arizona. Alright, here is another account. My uncle is Mexican and Native American. This happened in the Mojave Desert in Southern California. He was driving around with his girlfriend late at night, and they saw something that looked like a huge black dog on the side of the road. He slowed down, and the dog began to cross the road. But instead of walking like a normal dog would, this thing moved like a toy rocking horse. He said it stopped in the middle of the road and stared straight at them, and its eyes had a red glow.
Is that it?
Yeah, short, sweet, but the idea of picturing a live thing looking like a rocking horse, there's just something disturbing about that. Okay, here's my last story. This all happened about 5 years ago. One night, a few of my friends decided after a night of hanging out that we'd go on an adventure at 3 in the morning. We took a ride about 50 miles to this old Spanish ruin called Coray in New Mexico that was once the seat of the Inquisition. I can't for the life of me remember what the place was called. So we jumped the front gate to the place and started exploring. One of my friends brought a flute with him and he started playing it, and about 30 seconds into his playing, something started screaming really, really loud at the tops of the long destroyed walls of the place. It was going from wall to wall really quick, screaming the most blood-curdling scream you could imagine. We got the fuck out of there and drove a few hours to a national monument where we planned to camp out for the rest of the weekend. We got there at about 6 or 7 in the morning and set up our camp. After a few hours about just talking about what the hell happened at the ruins, I went to take a piss probably only 300 feet away from our camp. And this is where everything starts getting a little fuzzy. I remember seeing 2 dust devils coming my way, and when I turned around again, 2 of my friends were there, and they were motioning for me to follow them. I couldn't help but follow them, like I was being pulled behind them in shackles. I followed them for what seemed like 10 or 15 minutes, and then I snapped out of it. These weren't my friends. They had bright red hair with my friends' faces and cat eyes. I stopped walking, and they looked at me with the most terrifying gaze I'd ever seen. Monsters in movies are nothing compared to this. I turned around and ran as fast as I could back the way I came from, and after 5 minutes of full sprint, I got back to the rock where I took a piss, and I found our camp. Everyone was still there, still sitting talking about what happened at the ruins, and they didn't even notice I was gone. I told them about what happened, about their lookalikes, and we packed everything up and left probably within 10 minutes and got the hell back to Albuquerque. So those are just a couple accounts. I cut a story. I alluded to animals running on their hind feet. I didn't think it was a great story, but I'm sure you can attest to this based on some of the stuff you read. There are stories about like animals running away on their back feet.
Yeah,
which
multiple.
Yeah. So just a recap: evil, witchcraft. To get into it, you have to kill. You have to commit something terrible, killing a family member, killing a loved one, incest, cannibalism. It's a bad juju.
Yeah, it's God, it freaks me out. It does. It freaks me out. Do I think they're real? I hope not.
I think this. I mean, it's tough because I have a personal experience I'm not talking about yet. I think this is more real than something like the Black Eyed Kids, to me personally.
Yeah, I did hear this today. There's something called clinical lycanthropy.
What is it? What?
It's where you think you're an animal.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's been attributed to murders before.
Okay.
And usually it stems from the person that has clinical lycanthropy believes they have it because they're an animal because they've done something unforgivable.
Gotcha.
And it's usually a curse from God or whatever.
And that could tie people. I mean, when people are scared, when people are afraid, and they feel trauma and adrenaline, I mean, you can mistake things. Like, I mean, there are scientific facts that when even like a crime scene where there's nothing paranormal, a crime scene, you can have 5 people that all witness the same crime and all have 5 completely different accounts of what actually happened. You can plant false evidence in their minds. Like the mind is crazy. Like, we could go into an hour-long discussion just on perception.
Careful, your psychology's showing.
Yeah. So it more than anything, I don't know if I would say it's fun to imagine this is real, because if this is real, like, this is bad stuff.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. You know, win, lose, or draw, it's interesting to imagine that something like this could really exist. I actually, more often than not, I'm skeptical on things. I just think they're fun. I like horror movies. I like horror games. But this is one that I do tend to lean a little bit more on the fact or true side because of just what I've seen. And to go against the clinical
lycanthropy.
Yeah. That doesn't really take into account the smell, the eye color, the ungodly screams, the being able to run along with a car.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. That just sounds to me like a guy in the woods with the cloth on his back.
Yeah, I guess, you know, try to avoid stuff like this. Don't think about it. Enjoy the episode. You know, keep listening, but don't think about these things.
No, I'm gonna put on completely different. I'm done with Skinwalkers after this for a good while. Yeah,
but in Ohio, even though, well, this is more of a southwestern type thing. So
yeah,
geography wise, we're pretty not in the clear, but we're in a pretty good spot. I just think it's just interesting to think that there could be like that type of witchcraft really in the world. Like, sometimes when you take a step back and you think about like your realities, like sun comes up, you know, the winter's cold, the summer's warm, you know, gravity, and then you think about something like this, like, you know, if you're in this tribe, you do these chants, you kill somebody that's your sibling, you could like morph into an animal. Could you imagine the physical pain and process of switching into like an owl? Like, what?
No.
That's crazy. So, do you have anything else to add?
No. I just hope they're not. I don't know. Whatever. Knock on all the wood. I'm done.
Yep. That is our ParaFourMal about Skinwalkers. Okay, so that is our ParaFourMal and episode talking about Skinwalkers.
I've shook it off a little bit. I feel better now.
Shake it off.
But I think you're gonna get sued for that.
Yeah.
But I feel better. Feel more calm after talking about that. Jeez, that gave me the chills.
Yeah, it's. I don't want to go back into it. It is what it is. I think it's creepy, but you know, hopefully we portrayed it in a way that does justice to it as a topic and also is entertaining. We have a new WordPress. If you guys go to URL WordPress something blog segue, go to the Segue podcast WordPress something, you'll probably find it. Maybe not yet. It's probably not ranking yet, but you'll find it sometime.
Yeah, well, there's not a lot on there yet.
No, the goal is that if there's more, if there's topics that we touch on here, but we don't go into extensively, or like a full account of one of our first week foods, or what we, you know, are like, while we go on here, we might talk about the movie. we'll talk about our experience at the movies on the WordPress. It's just, if it's the behind the scenes look. If you want a little bit more about our stories, if you want a little bit more about our pillar and our experiences, check out our WordPress, because we're going to be using it as a blog form. More information, more content.
Like, oh, we went to see the movie, but I also got a coffee.
Yes, like that engaging, like, you guys are probably itching to get there to read about that coffee. But like, there's stuff that happens outside of what we just say on here about, but you guys will feel like you're on the end because you'll hear the podcast. You'll be like, oh, I know what they're talking about. Boom, WordPress. More importantly than that, subscribe.
Subscribe, and also give us 5 stars, likes if you can.
If you can. If you enjoyed it, subscribing is the most important. A little less important, but still important. Follow us at The Segway Podcast. Instagram at The Segway Podcast. Facebook. Screw Twitter.
Yeah.
Don't even worry. We stop caring. You can stop caring.
Facebook or Instagram.
Facebook or Instagram. You can pick one or the other. You can pick both.
I mean, we're not off Twitter, but basically.
Yeah, there's Twitter. Go there for sports and for people to repost things and talk about, oh my God, I can't believe this blew up.
It happened again.
Again. So WordPress, Facebook, Instagram. We love you guys. Subscribe. Share with a friend. And people have come up to us and told us. I told my friend about you guys. I told my friend about the Segway Podcast. We appreciate everybody out there who's sharing the word of the word, who's spreading the word, the truth. Lord, the people who are talking about the Segway Podcast. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate all of your support. We see you. We love you. This is the Segway.
The best thing that happened to you on a Thursday.
Thanksgiving.
So that is our 10 facts for this year's Black Friday. Well, actually, every Black Friday, but that specifically, the end is. Let me try that again.
That is fact checked.
Jesus.